I'd like to call to order the regular session of the Trinidad Tourism Board at 9:04. Maybe roll call.
Campbell? Kress? Michaels? Here. Miller?
Here.
Richardson?
Petitions or communications, oral or written.
Nobody's here and nobody presented anything.
Just wanted to mention something, and maybe you guys are aware of it already, but with everything, gas prices going up the way they are, kind of a double-edged sword this time. There's a lot of pent-up feelings with this pandemic easing up, so it's kind of going to be a double-edged sword whether people want to get out or not with the cost of gas, but then at the same time pent-up feelings and just wanted to get out and be around. So that's something that I'm not sure what kind of tourism we'll have this year. I'm not sure if you thought of that.
It's funny that you, not really funny because you've always been with great things, but in our regional meeting, we were just talking about that within the La Quinta franchise. And we think in our I-25 corridor that our main feed in the summertime is still Texas. And even in our area of southern Colorado, which is Colorado Springs down, because there's a lot of hotels in that area, we think we're still gonna be okay. Because the corridor is so saturated with traffic that even us, especially in Trinidad, even if we got only 3/4 of that business this year. But that's what we're hoping, right? And who's the optimist, right?
Me too.
So,
Well, gas is 50 cents cheaper in Amarillo than it is here.
well,
Taxes.
the big thing
Texas
about
taxes.
most of the people, and not all, but surely 30 to 40%, the largest market segment of people that come through that are going to places like Stonewall and Crested Butte and Vail and Breckenridge and Denver, those people aren't gonna probably matter that they're gonna spend $50 more in gas because they spend so much. However, I think the leisurely low market, well, and I actually think the cities will hurt more. I think Vail and them will hurt more because of the cost of all those businesses going out. You know, they've got hotel rooms that let in for like $5.99 a night. Like, you know, so because of the labor and because of all these reasons, I think we'll be okay here, but I'm an optimist. That's what my thought is.
One of the
The
things
CT
I think, oh, go ahead, Mark.
At the
Yeah.
CTO level, we also had that conversation, and one of the things that they discussed was promoting Colorado within Colorado, and trying to keep, I mean, those individuals that would travel out of state will probably stay closer to home. So one of the things that they talked about was promoting Colorado within Colorado. So-
One of the things I see from driving up I-25 is a lot of people are travel trailers. They're going that route, you know, and coming into cities and looking for RV parks,
Oh,
you know.
that's a good point.
So I think that is one of the other things about us, the tourism board, is we set aside a
Yeah.
certain amount of money to where it's not gonna hurt the tourism board to give to things.
Well, the other part with that is even with, even at a slower economy, the hotels right now, because of cost pricing, cannot go back down on their price.
Yeah.
And even, you know, the benefit of one of the benefits of the Hilton is that it will have to keep a rate integrity. It cannot sell cheap rooms, which will hold the whole town into rate integrity. If you were to get a hotel to come in that was gonna sell $89 rooms and it was a lower flag as a comfort or something in suites, everybody in town would be lowering their rate. But because that Hilton rate will be so high, everybody will keep their
uses
rate
that as a
integrity,
guideline.
so it will really help us. But I'm interested in knowing when the mayor comes back in, because there he is. Mayor, because you have so much foresight in that, what advice would you have for us that we should be careful of just because of our own, you know, hopefully good optimistic spirit, but we should be watching for?
Well, I guess the biggest thing would be, of course, you guys have already done your advertising for the year.
And we
I
said
think
that.
just be careful with any additional advertising until we know how things are gonna begin to roll out, probably at the first half of the year. That would be probably my advice.
And then our grant money, it's such a small portion of the money that we do have for events and stuff, and so that's not gonna hurt us, you know, in that aspect. One of the things I did yesterday is I delivered this little key card holder to all of the motels yesterday. And the only one that didn't sign on with us was the Holiday Inn because of their corporate regulations. But everybody else was pretty excited about them.
Good.
And I wanted to get them out before spring break.
Yep.
So I did them all yesterday, so everybody was pretty excited about them.
Yeah, our staff has been really excited about them. We were using them for a couple of vendors in town. And one thing I meant to tell you, but I don't know if you told everybody, is that what we did to conserve on these, because we love them so much, is we wrote all of our room numbers on the inside. And then as they get them dropped back off, we put them into a slot and reuse them since they're so great. Now, of course, if they look bad, then we don't. We probably get 5 uses out of them, you know. But we've already put a few coupons in for downtown. So anything that you can think of, like Main Street or anybody having, you know, some live thing, when you hand your key card, we just put little pieces of paper that big inside. Don't forget to go down and give us some coupons. So
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I got some ideas.
yeah,
So
it worked really well.
they were pretty excited about the traffic coming up now for spring break.
Good.
You know, I think everybody's pretty excited about getting that.
Yeah, everybody
additional-
had a better Friday and Saturday night this last week.
You know, I think your spring break is going to probably be a big telltale sign as to how tourism is gonna be this year.
That's a really great point, Mayor.
And the snow that we've been receiving. That's the big ticket. That all these mountain towns have been receiving some good snow.
So if that's a really good basis. So I'm ahead in the month of March for spring break. I'm ahead of last year. Of course, last year should have been lower because we were still COVID.
Right.
So, but I am higher than 2019 too. But that's a really good gauge, Mayor. I'm actually gonna look at that from a few years ago and see daily how it affects it. Because I know our weekends have been busy, but I have some other large contracts in town, so I'm not really quite sure how it is. So that's a really good gauge.
Anything else?
The one thing I was gonna mention, I'm not sure how this is gonna pan out. A couple of weeks ago, we had a meeting with with the company that is going to do the rail system for the mine. And I think this month they were finalizing their contract with them. I think they want to start construction probably first part of the summer. They say that they're going to probably have about 100 employees. So that's going to put a lot of additional pressure for the next 18 to 24 months on our housing. So I'm not sure how you guys are going to get hit up from the motel side or the
Sure.
hotel side. I do know that there are going to be, right now, there's a lot of plans for additional housing coming up probably by the end of the year. But in the meantime, there's going to be that additional pressure put on
Sure,
the housing industry between then and now and then.
sure. Mayor, who are you dealing with that contract?
It's called Martinez. It's not Martinez. It's with a U.S. instead of
Uh-huh.
a Z,
Uh-huh,
but they're out of Australia or New Zealand.
okay,
And we met with their 2 CEOs the other day.
okay.
So,
Did the city give them a packet of things of?
we did not, but I know we'll
That would
probably
always
we'll probably be having another meeting with them. So what I could do is I'll call you the next meeting that we have with them, and maybe you can give us
Yeah.
something we can hand it to them. I'm sure we'll be meeting them again.
Okay. Well, that's exciting news. So we're just gonna have to really push that outdoor trip stuff in Trinidad this summer too.
Yeah.
Or else we could go walking tour, you know.
One other thing is I talked to Paula Manini about the back end of the Blue Mansion. And she expressed that we should write a letter to the governor about how we would like the Blue Mansion in the back of the house, where they're going for this summer. And kind of like maybe the conditions of it, maybe, you know, they're not aware of it, or, you know, in the sense
Not a
like
bad
that.
idea.
But maybe a letter from the tourism board as it being one of our assets, you know, that for Trinidad, for people to stop in and see. But she suggested that I write it, that we would write a letter to the governor's office.
It's probably a good idea. The last thing I want to mention too is this, tomorrow I think it is. It's Wednesday, tomorrow. It's either this Thursday or next Thursday. I have to look and see, but they're releasing the master plan to the leadership group at the CPW regular meeting this year. And we'll see what all entails at that point.
Okay, next. Approval of minutes for February 9th, 2022. Everybody have a chance to look at that?
I said we should approve the minutes from February 9th, 2022.
Second,
That's it.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
New business,
Oh,
recommendation.
invoices.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Got paid bills,
I
Tom.
jumped here. Approval of invoices.
I make a motion, we pay our bills.
Second,
I second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
New business. Recommendations of reappointment to the board members to council. We have Camilla Campbell and Chris Miller.
That's questionable.
Question?
We just do them together? Oh, we can't do
We
them
can't.
together.
Yeah, you
only
have to
do
do them
Chris.
individually.
Yeah, so
So,
I just want to thank you, Chris, for jumping in with us and helping us out with radio and everything that you have helped us out with.
yeah, really, and thank you for being so community-minded and working on tourism outside of this office a lot. That's really, it really goes to show, you know, how much you're invested into tourism and into this city, and I really appreciate that too.
Well, it's been my pleasure and I enjoy working with y'all. Seems like we've got pretty good teams.
I'm really excited about the direction of Main Street right now.
Have a motion to.
Motion for Camilla first.
I'll motion for Camilla to retain on the board of a reappointment for the city of Trinidad.
Second,
Also.
This is Camille.
this is Camilla.
A second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now Mr. Miller.
I motion to retain Chris Miller on the tourism board and be reappointed through the city of Trinidad's city council.
Second,
I'll second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. In a nutshell.
Nutshell.
A little
Yeah.
That
nutshell.
was really small.
Little
Yeah.
tiny nutshell.
One opportunity to throw me out when it goes to the councils.
Next meeting,
You've done a good job, thank you.
March 23rd, 2022, a work session. Adjournment at 9:18 a.m.
Thank you all.
Thank you.